Welcome to Éxito in Minutes. I'm here with
Alex Espinosa,
my co-host, and I'm Troy Blanchard. Thanks for joining us today. We're super excited. Éxito in Minutes is all focused about how in minutes we can learn the best practices, valuable tips to help you achieve your full potential. We're inviting experts to come in, and they're going to share inspirational stories. Our main purpose is when you're concluding listening to these podcasts that you will be a better person and take some of those best practices, learn not just from us, but from our guests. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back. I'm here with my co-host,
Alex Espinosa.
And I'm Troy Blanchard. I am super grateful you guys are with us today because this is a topic that Alex and I are passionate about. I mean, we are closing in on the very end of the year, or you might even be listening to this at the very beginning of next year. And this episode is focused around either how to be prepared for 2025, right? For your goals and everything you have planned that you want to achieve, or it's about launching in 2025.
Yep.
So Alex, talk a little bit about, give a little synopsis of what they're going to hear today.
You're going to listen and you're going to learn about how to set a goal. I think that's one of the most important things in life. I love that topic. We're going to reflect on the past year. We're going to clarify our priorities. We're going to talk about break it down into small things, about how we visualize success, and many other great, amazing best practices. So if you want to learn about all of this, you have to keep until the end. It's going to be awesome.
I got to say, too, if you're like me, some of the years past, you might be just sitting there right now and you might be thinking to yourself, this year I didn't achieve my goals, or each year I keep quitting my goals after like 2 months. If that's you, stick around because we're going to go through and give you a process of how you're going to do this. Also, if you're a married couple, near the end of this podcast, I'm going to talk a little bit about the best practices within a married couple of how you can really your full potential as a couple when it comes to organizing yourself for 2025 and your goals. Okay, so let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, so the very first thing is, look, we're near the end of the year, right? And if you're listening to this at the beginning of the year, your very first step is reflection. Yeah. Is reflection. Create a time and a space. Put it in your calendar. Make an appointment with yourself and set it up and say, for this 1 hour, I'm going to reflect on last year. Or maybe it's 2 hours or 3 hours. And write down all the things that you review, your successes, your challenges, and lessons learned. And literally write them out. Lessons learned could be an hour for me alone because I've learned a ton this year.
Yep.
Mostly by my failures, right? And my hard challenges, right? And so that's the first thing. If you guys start there, then right away, creating that 2 hour space, your goals that you're going to set for 2025 are going to be that much better.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex, what's our number 2?
Our number 2 is clarify priorities. I love this one. This is amazing. It is not hard. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's hard because you confuse which is your priority versus urgent things that you have to do, and you mix them both, and boom, you don't know how to work on that. How can we overcome this?
Okay, so just break it down simply in your head. What are my priorities? And choose 4 categories. So the way I would break it down is I would say, okay, for my career, my health, my relationships, and what I think is the most important is my spiritual relationship, right?
You're right.
And so you have these 4 quadrants, and you can interchange health for something else if that's more of a focus. You could put in education and lump it together as career. Sometimes people would think, okay, my career is just got to be my career goals. It should be your education to support those career goals. So you can have subcategories, but just to break it down, like Alex is saying, make it simple. Just put together 4 quadrants of your priorities for the year.
Something that is very important when you're measuring a quadrant, sometimes you have this measure from 1 to 10. I mean, 10 being the top of it. But sometimes people used to put the number in 5. 5 means nothing. It's like no, I'm in the middle of it. No, it's better if you choose 6 or 4 and you be honest and you be true to yourself. It's like, no, I need to improve this. But if I'm on the mark of 5, it's like, nah, probably you won't get things better. So be aware of that and put the mark on the 4 or the 6 to make sure that you're being true to yourself.
And I love when you define, like if you have a metric system, define what is 7 to 10 might be green. And 4 to 6 might be yellow.
Yeah.
And 1 to 3 might be red. And so you can put together definitions. Tell us about, and this is what's super important, is that once you've got your priorities, you've got to really think about SMART goals. Can you tell us about SMART goals, Alex?
I love that. I learned when I was studying at the college about the SMART, because the very first time I was like, yeah, let's set a goal. I was like, okay, what about guessing numbers? And I was like, no. The perfect way is this acronym SMART, which means that you're going to set a SMART goal, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. If you have these five criteria on your setting goals, it's going to be easier because you're going to actually reach your goals, and you're going to have this feeling of being very powerful person because you are doing what you are supposed to do. But when you start not doing it that way and just guessing numbers as I used to do, the thing is, like, you get frustrated because you cannot achieve what you plan, and it's like you start suffering inside it, thinking, okay, I'm not good enough, probably me, I'm not smart enough, I'm not working hard enough. And it's not that true. It's just that you didn't set the goal in the right way.
Right? And so the idea is you, and we're going to talk at the end of this podcast about being flexible and having mercy with yourself and what it means to be flexible. But right now we're going to talk about the importance of first just putting together the plan. If you have a plan and you break it down into monthly and weekly actions, for some people, that's perfect. You don't need daily actions, but other people are going to need daily actions. So when you think of what you want to accomplish this year, break it down, write the roadmap, put it on your mirror, put it everywhere, and manifest and tell everybody about it. And once you have that plan that it's broken down, then you're going to achieve it. We've had some fantastic guests here this year, and they've talked about, hey, I want to go into Africa and go serve. And that was a matter of like over a year, I think it was years, just to break down weekly and monthly what they had to do to be able to get to where they wanted to go. And so that's breaking it down. Let's go to the next one, Alex. What's next?
Visualize success. And I love this one because there's no way you can have success unless you start thinking about it and you visualize it. And something that I really love about this topic is, like, you need to be surrounded by those who will help you to achieve success. I'm not saying that there's a bad or good people, but there's people that is gonna, they already reach success, and you want to learn the best practices out of them.
Well, they want to distract you from that success.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If there's this saying, if we, I think that we already record a podcast about this, but think about this. When you are trying to visualize yourself as a successful person, whatever the area you choose it might be, you have to ask to someone who's already there, how did you get there? And then visualize yourself getting there, following those steps, using the breaking down with your goals and achieving everything that you planned, and it's gonna happen. But you need to visualize, write it down. Even though, let's say, something that I do to help me out is I actually find a magazine, I take a picture out of it. It's like, I want to buy this, and I put on a paper,
visualization board
in my fridge every day. And I was like, okay, I'm trying to achieve this, and I want to have this, and I want to keep this. So I always remember what I'm trying to reach, and it, in my case, works perfectly. For you, might be your cell phone. I don't know, maybe a reminder, something at your room, a picture. I don't know. For every person is different. But when you see it, it's actually easier to get it.
Okay, I love that, Alex. Visualization, right? A vision board is so important. Let's go back to actually when we're talking about breaking it down. And that is where you're creating a tracking system. And creating a tracking system, you could use apps. I mean, there's so many incredible apps that will keep you on track. They'll text you daily. You have to mark it off. There's not only just apps, there's softwares online. There's calendars. You can set up calendar reminders for progress. You could use a journal. That's one of my areas. Is I want to make sure I'm journaling every night because there's so many crazy things that happen to everybody every day.
Yeah.
That, that's one of my upcoming implementations, right? And so use a tracking system. Okay, once you've done a tracking system, Alex started touching on this with visualization. Alex, tell us about building a support. Like, how do you build a support system?
Okay, the very first thing is that, like, when you're very committed to do something, it's really important because you're being true to yourself. But when you have someone that can support you to achieve that goal, it's even better. Let's say for those that are married, when you tell your wife that you're going to do something, that's a build-up system because she will always remember you. It's like, hey, you promised this, you will do this. And in my case, everything that I accomplish is because of my wife, because she's always, hey, you have to do this, you have to do this. And it's not a painful thing. It's not about things like, oh, don't tell me again. You can do this with your children, with your wife, with your friends, with your colleagues. everywhere. There's when you have people trying to, well, people that actually care about you, they're going to be very concerned about yourself, about you being successful, and they will do anything in life to make you successful. So having this support from those that are around you, it's going to work perfect. Maybe, well, for those who like to share this information, there's going to be any other people that's like, no, I don't like support from my family. Probably they're not very supportive people, but I can have AI. I can use my phone. I can use anything. But this will help me remember that I am committed to achieve this goal. But I need to actually have it written down. I need to commit the people as like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym every single day. So mom, please remind me to be there.
Yep.
And your mom will be every day.
Every
It's
day
like,
helping
you have
and remind
to,
you to be
have
there.
to, and you will achieve the goal.
I love it. We had a podcast earlier that talked about kind of you're the sum total of your 10 closest friends, right?
Yeah.
The idea is surround yourself. I'm going to do a huge shout out to Carlos Vaca. There's many others that have given me great examples. But when I was at the gym, I was with Angel Chicaiza, and we were going to the gym every single day, and we talked business a lot. He was listening, and he started coming up to us and started talking with us. And then he started sharing his goals. He started talking about his business and what he's doing and what he wanted to do in life. And pretty soon he chose to surround himself with a group of people at the gym every day. One, somebody that was going to keep him accountable. If we don't see him at the gym, we're like, where were you? Right?
Yeah.
And then two, he surrounded himself with people that are aligned in the same goals. Do the same thing. I watch him. Even his friend group or the people that he posts online, he's surrounding himself with mentors and people that have the same goals that he has. Many of you are also doing that, so shout out to you. Good job. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one. Okay, so anticipate challenges.
Ooh.
That's a hard one. When you talk about, I think you're going to talk about this a little bit even more in our podcast, but think about anticipating challenges like not having electricity for 12 hours. I mean, you're running a business, Alex, and you have no electricity that requires electricity to run the business, right? And so how do you anticipate challenges?
Well, the thing is like this, I really love this, and you can use this very simple method to start thinking about the future is the SWOT method.
Oh, yeah.
It's really easy. It will help you to think ahead of the things that might come the next year. It might be in your business and your personal life, with your couple, anything that you might think. Let's say, okay, I don't have good habits. I don't know, saving money. So this might be a problem next year with my couple. Yes, it is. So what are the things that I'm gonna do before that happens? So
Yes.
how can I overcome this? The best thing to do is to start thinking about that. Those problems and face them. It's not easy. It's not easy because we love when people tell us how great we are. But when we start seeing our challenges, facing to ourselves, it's the hardest thing to do.
Of course.
So write everything down, put and think all the things that might be a problem the next year. A problem might be the next year is like, I don't like my job. I want to have a new job. Something that we're doing right now at the company is like, we're thinking about the challenges that we're going to face, not probably the next year, maybe the next
month.
the next days, having no water because our business is about electricity and water.
Electrolyzed water.
Electrolyzed water is
yeah.
like, and having those things is like, we've been thinking about how can we survive through that. And we have a plan to survive. Okay, this is a scenario A, we're going to do this. B scenario, we're going to do this. And we know that we can survive for the next 8 months, and it's going to be great because I hope this won't last even more than 8 months, but we will do it. And if that happens, we have our Z plan that will work perfectly through that. So we anticipate, we are not waiting to that to happen. It's like you have to react, and that's never is a good way to do things.
No, the reaction part. So I love what you were saying. You know, the idea is identify. That's your first tool. Identify what possible potential obstacles could be there. Second thing Alex just talked about is to write it down and then create the plan. So those are your 3 steps that you need to do to anticipate problems that will stop you from achieving your goals next year. Yeah. So when you go from anticipation, this is what we talked a little bit about at the beginning. I want to get back to the important part of starting small. Oh. Now let me explain to you. I can't tell you how many people I am fortunate in that my mental health stays stable, I think, because I've been going to the gym since I was 17. I haven't stopped, ever. And so it's just part of my routine. I never make the decision. I'm not saying you should be that way. Everybody's that in different aspects. But why I'm explaining that to you is it doesn't matter if I'm in the United States, it doesn't matter what state I'm at. I go to the gym every single day, every single month, every single week, and every January, February, March, the gyms are packed. January is the worst month, gets a little less in February. March, it is crazy still busy, and by May, there's nobody there again,
Yeah.
right? And so this is the reason why I'm going to tell you, there's days that you don't feel the strength when you just get up and go. You don't have to start on like the first month, I'm going to do 100 push-ups every single day. Just go.
Yeah.
If it's hey, I want to run every day around the block, around the neighborhood, and you wake up in the morning and you feel like walking, then just walk, right? Start small and slowly stack on. Don't overload yourself. Start these small goals and build them up as you go throughout the year. 365 days is a lot of days, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to start big, so start small. All right, last one, and we talked a little bit about, we're both going to talk about this. This is super, super for me. The last major point is stay flexible.
Oh.
So, when you talk about staying flexible, again, I'm going to remind you to go back and talk about the atomic habits. But one of the examples they gave is they put their gym clothes next to their bed every night before they went to bed. And so they had their socks, their shoes, everything to wear to go to the gym. So when they woke up, they stepped out of bed, it's there. It's the clothes that you've already pre-selected, right? The protein shake was already made the night before. So there's certain things that you can do. It's the same with studying. When you get next to your bed, I have next to my bed Crucial Conversations in Spanish because I'm trying to improve my Spanish. It's next to my bed. It's at the point of use. Do I always pick it up and read it at night? No. But be flexible. Have mercy on yourself. If you started a goal and you start to fall off in March, who cares? Start again in April.
Yep.
Right? It's like if you did a goal of like doing 100 air squats every day or an hour of reading a specific book, or you have a goal to reach out to every family member every day, one family member every day, and you skip for about 3 weeks, pick it back up. Or just do half of that. Be flexible. Sometimes we push so hard that then when we get behind and we don't achieve the goal, we give up on the goal.
Yep.
And always be flexible in rewriting what your goal is.
Yeah.
So that's the flexibility aspect to it. Any other additional thoughts on flexibility before we move to
Well, the problem
couples?
is that you're not flexible, is you're going to quit because you're going to be so hard on yourself, but that by the end of the year and the starting of the new year, you'll be starting with the same goal again, and probably you will fail because you're being so hard on you. And you don't have to be that way. Being flexible with your family, with your children. There are some times that we are very hard with our children. Let's say, you have to do this and you have to do this in this way because it's the only way I know, so my way is perfect.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
being flexible. They'll find their own ways. We have already talked about this in another podcast about being flexible, finding a way. Every kid, every person is different. So finding a way, even with us, is very important because if you're flexible with yourself, you will never quit. You will always find a new way to start doing things again.
I love it. Okay, one of the things I promised at the beginning of the podcast, I want to talk about couples.
Oh,
okay, and I will tell you, I will talk to different couples, and they'll say, I can't do that. I can't get a babysitter. I can't stay the night without my kids. I can't. So I'm going to talk about the importance of having a couples retreat.
Oh.
It's where you and your wife, or if you're the wife, right, and your husband, okay, or it's your partner, you guys go out and you walk away from any distractions. You spend, it could be a day, if you can afford it, get a hotel and spend 2 days at it. Bring everything that you're gonna need, like whiteboards or just eraser markers that you can put on glass windows, and you're gonna go create your plan together. And during that time, you need to have a humble approach and walk in and just also look at a couple's inventory of saying, hey, in 2025, we want to grow closer and we want to be even more united. Start the same process. Reflect in 2024. What did you specifically do that was successful, and what areas could you improve upon? Be open and vulnerable to make sure that you can talk to each other about what improvements, self-improvements you can personally do, what you can do as a couple. And then also, let's say you have kids, you can be focusing on what do you want them to learn and set goals for them. Right? And then also, if you're single and you're thinking of your career, go take time, leave, go on a big hike, bring a big lunch, and spend a couple hours where you're not distracted with the phone nonstop and people asking you questions, and spend some time to create the world you want to have in 2025. couples, there's this one Instagram that I started following, and it was showing this couple how they would leave their kids with the babysitter, with grandma or whomever, and they'd pack their bags, and they were excited, and they brought all their tools that they needed, and they would go to a location, and they would just focus on 2 days of how they can improve their marriage. And then other couples are like 2 days of how, if they're running a business, like my wife and I work together as business partners, how can we improve the business? So take time. Whether you're married, if you're single, if you're with whomever you want to take time with to create your goals. And if you do that and you're thinking with intention, imagine the difference. I believe, Alex, and I know you believe the same way, I believe in a God that wants us to live to our full potential, that wants us to be happy and wants to bless us with success. And so whatever you believe in, just know that your family believes in you, your friends believe in you, and you can surround yourself with friends that believe in the same goals that you have, that want you to achieve them, and you can invoke the powers of heaven to help you in this.
Definitely.
That's my thoughts. Do you have any thoughts before we go to the Spanish version?
When you go and have this time with your couple, try to be honest, like brutally honest, but
hard.
be aware of the things that you're going to say, because it's important to, like, there are many times that we think about this. I would love to say this to my wife, but I don't know if she's going to react well. So think about yourself, learn a great way to tell your spouse how to improve, because the main goal is to become a better person. But at the end, be honest. It's like, when you receive honest feedback, you will know how to change, where to change, where are the areas where you can improve. But if you don't receive it, you will probably have the same complaint over and over and over and over the years. And after 10 years, like, okay, I don't want to be married with you because I hate that you don't
It
flush the
amplifies.
toilet.
It gets
It's
worse.
like-
It gets worse.
It's
Yes.
like, but you never told me. It's like, no, but I'm so tired right now, and I'm going to tell you that this is the end. You can correct many things if you are honest, like brutally honest with your couple, and it's going to be great at the end of the day, because you both are on the same page. We're trying to improve. I'm not trying to damage you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I love you. That's the reason why I'm telling you this, because I want you to be the best version of you. So that's the only thing that I may say.
I love it. And I would say, get the book, Crucial Conversations. Read it together before you go to that couples retreat. And I want to say partner, right? I want to make sure that's a life partner, whomever you're with. Make sure that you read the book, read it together or read it separate to prepare you mentally to create a safe space to have that dialogue. Hey, we want to tell you, thank you for being along with this journey. If you're listening to us at the beginning of 2025, stick with us. We are super excited for our guests. We're changing the format about our podcast a little bit. We always got to look at continuous improvement. So we're going to be looking at that. And then also we want to tell you, please follow us. If you follow us on Instagram, you can jump onto Facebook. Make sure you subscribe. We have a YouTube, Spotify, and Apple podcasts. So thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic day.